there. In this video I'm going to show you how you can make this personalised Capricorn heart earring. So we've got a zodiac symbol here for Capricorn, but you could use any zodiac symbol, and I'm going to use the lowercase letter A Harrington font, but again you could use any font that we've got on our system and combine them together in a similar sort of way as to what I'm going to show you here. So the application we're going to use is Fluid Designer for 3D printing, and I just click the group library button here to refresh this file list. I'm going to use a wire connector at the top there to act for the fish hook in the earring. I'm going to use a Harrington font. I'm just going to use letter A, but obviously any letter of the alphabet and any other font you have on your system you can use. I'm going to use the Astrological Patterns, and I'm going to add this Zodiac Capricorn pattern. And notice there are two on the system, one with the box around it, one without. I'm going to use the one without. And then I'm also going to put all of these inside a heart pattern. So if I go to Patterns Hearts, you can see there's a range of hearts that you can actually use here, and again, you know, they all work in pretty much the same sort of way. So I'm going to use this one here, so I just drag and drop that object onto the workspace, and I'll just switch on screencast keys, so any key presses I make should be displayed down here. Now I'm just holding down the center mouse button and just rocking the mouse. Now the dimensions of this object at the moment, this is a parametric smart object. We could change the thickness quite easily here, make it thicker, but that's going to be too heavy for an earring. What we want to do really is to change the cross section down to 1 by 1. So in other words, that's 1 millimeter by 1 millimeter there. If we look at the main information icon, you can see what the size of this is. So it's about 20 millimeters by 20 millimeters approximately. That's the size of the grid. If you wanted to make it smaller, you can scale it down. I'm going to leave it at that size at the moment. If I now go to View and Top View, I want to place my astrological symbol in here. So it was in Patterns Astrological, and the one that I'm going to use is the Capricorn pattern. That's this object here, and I do that by not dragging it. If I do that, this will disappear. I do it by going to File and Append, and we just go up through the menu system until you get to the Groups folder, and I want Astrological Patterns, and I want the Capricorn pattern. Now there's two of them. There's 001A, that's with the box around it. I want 001, and I want the object, and I just append that from the library. Now this object, the default thickness of this is also 1 by 2. I can see that in the properties panel over here. We're going to change that down to 1 by 1. But before I do that, what I need to do also is scale it down. So if I press the S key on the keyboard and just move the mouse inwards towards the center there, you can see I can scale it. And I'm going to scale it down to 0.5. I can see 0.5, it was in the bar at the top there. And what you must always do in Fluid Designer when you scale, you must always do Control A and apply the scale. Now notice the thickness will change as I apply the scale. If you don't apply the scale, this value over here won't be right anymore. So very important to do that in Fluid Designer. So if I go to View and Top View now, so I'm going to move that around, and you can position it wherever you want. Obviously it's got to overlap at some point for it to be a solid object. I'm now going to append a Harrington font. So I'm going to append this object here. So we go to File and Append, go up through the menu system until you get to the Groups folder, go to Harrington Font A, and we always append the object, so it's Harrington Font A, we append that from the library. And again, this object, a little bit too large, so I'm going to do S on the keyboard for scale, and just move the cursor inwards until I've got the sort of size I want. but remember to do Control A and apply the scale, and notice the thickness will be reapplied to that object. If you don't do that, you won't know the exact thickness of these objects. So I'm just going to position it like that. I could switch off the snap and make sure that we've got some good overlap there, because we do want a solid object. So that was the snap I switched off there to fine control it. Now what I want to do is to join these objects together. Now if I hold down the Shift key and highlight the Capricorn pattern as well as the letter A, I can join them together. So they're now one object. And if I hold down the Shift key and highlight the heart and go to Tools, Object, Tools and Join, they are now one object. But there is something to take note of here. We've got a hole now at the end, and that's because the heart didn't have this box ticked. That was the heart shape around. The Capricorn symbol did, but not the heart. So we just need to tick that box. That will fill in the hole at the end there. You just need to watch out for that. NetFab will probably fix it for you later, but just watch out for that. So the A and the Capricorn symbol are now the same cross section as the heart, and we want one by one because we need this to be a small size. So I'll just go to View and Top View now. Now if I just go to Tools, Object, Tools, Origin and set the origin to the geometry of this shape, you can see the center of this shape is here, and if I do cursor, snap selection to cursor, it will move that to the middle. Now what that will do is when I now add a connector, so I'm going to add a wire ring basically at the top, a wire connector at the top, I can put it right in the center there. So if I go to File and Append, just go up through the menu system until you get to Groups folder. I want a connector. I'm going to use the one with a 1.5mm diameter hole, assuming your fish hook is 1mm. And so we just append that from the library. And I must make sure I select it and then just drag it up, and I'm scrolling with the center mouse button to zoom in, and I can just position it like that. So I want that in the middle there. I can check it with wireframe mode. That's okay, it's in the middle of it. And notice that the cross section of this is rounded. This has got a cross section diameter of 1mm. This is 1mm by 1mm. This is more square. So if we highlight that, hold down the Shift key, highlight the main body of the pendant last, and go to Tools, Object, Tools and Join. Notice that the cross section of the ring at the top there is now the same as the rest of it. And that's essentially how you can create this personalized earring. And what I would normally do now is to export it as a wavefront or as an OBJ file. I tend to use wavefront to the desktop. I saved it earlier as a personalized Capricorn heart earring. So you export that, and you then must always go to NetFab Basic and run it through NetFab Basic. And what you notice in NetFab is that the volume of this is 0.21 centimeters cubed. If you just move the decimal point to between the 2 and the 1, that gives you approximately the weight in grams. So this is about 2.1 grams in weight, and that's very important if you're creating an earring. So in NetFab you just hit the repair procedure. I mean, I did actually do this earlier. Click Automatic Repair and execute it, and then apply the repair and remove the old part. That's all you do in NetFab. Okay, so and then you go to Part, export it as a wavefront object. As I say, this was personalized Capricorn heart earring, and you just save that to the desktop, and then you can upload it to Shapebase. That's how easy it is. So good luck.